Good evening everybody, welcome back to Apex Online Racing, where after a week break the drivers will have been hoping for a nice simple drive tonight around a fairly straightforward, easy circuit. Unfortunately for them, they have had no such luck. Welcome to round 8 of the Hype Energy PS4 F1 League, and tonight the drivers will be challenging the Baku City circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A very difficult circuit, 20 corners, long straights, plenty of overtaking opportunities and plenty of opportunities to put it into the barriers as well. My name is Luke Etheridge and I'll be taking you through the action tonight. 18 minutes of qualifying followed by a 26 lap race, and if the last race before the break is anything to go by, it could well be a very interesting one indeed, because last time out at Monaco we saw a wet, dry Monaco Grand Prix. Fantastic job by all the drivers just to keep it out of the wall, and it looked as though the brave decision that Lee Findlay had made to start on the intermediate tyres was going to work for him, but unfortunately he picked up a 3-second penalty, and that meant that CRG_Liam Yo took his second victory of the season, moving himself up into 4th in the championship. Wasn't a good night for the main guys at the top of the championship. Gil could only finish in 7th place, and since the last race he's actually left the IGK team. He's now part of Brutal Democracy. Blizzard could only finish in 9th place. What that means though for the Drivers' Championship is Gil is now in the lead still again by 13 points. Domi a further 3 points back, and Liam just 22 points off the lead, so any one of them could be leading at the end of tonight on the Baku circuit, one of the longest circuits in Formula 1. Only Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps is longer, 6.003 kilometres here, 3.730 miles. First used in 2016 for what was termed then the European Grand Prix, for what may have well been a decisive moment looking back in the championship that year, as Lewis Hamilton had a big issue in qualifying, hit the wall coming through turn 10, ended up finishing 10th in that qualifying session. Didn't have the best of races either, where his teammate and eventual world champion Nico Rosberg took a dominant pole to flag victory. Should be a very interesting race then. Should be good to see how all the drivers cope tonight. What sort of setups will they go for as well? As I mentioned, you need good straight line speed here. That entire final sector is pretty much just flat out. All the way coming out of turn 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. You are flat out through there, even in race conditions with a car laden with fuel. Also with extremely long flat out run as well, down between turns 2 and 3, and then you've got the high speed section that we're just going to see Gil come through now, coming out of turn 12 all the way to turn 15. But as usual with track street circuits, you need good rear traction as well. You need to get the acceleration right coming out of turns 1, 2, 3 and 4, the 90-degree right and left handers that sort of characterise most street circuits nowadays in Formula 1. But we will stay on board with Gil then in the AlphaTauri. The team currently 44 points as well behind Williams in the Constructors' Championship. Gil pretty much doing it on his own at the moment for the AlphaTauri team, and let's see what sort of performance he can put in tonight then as we follow him through these flat out sections, flat through turn 19 and 20. DRS open then at that point as he heads towards the finish line. We'll see what sort of speed he is coming to. He's not even started his lap yet, and there we go, 210 miles per hour as you spot your braking point for turn 1. Very careful not to invalidate your lap then a very tight turn 2. Don't be surprised if you see some carbon fibre flying off a few cars there in the race. DRS open once again for the long run now down towards turn 3. If you didn't have a chance into turn 1, it's very possible that you can have a good shot here. There we go, into turn 3. Now it's just all about being nice and careful, keeping the rear tyres under control, keeping them at a good temperature as you run through turns 4. And then you've got this little chicane at turns 5 and 6, which finishes off the first sector. And another quick blast down to the very tight right-hander at turn 7, where you can afford to skip over the curb as much as possible here to get the best possible line for the infamous Castle section of the circuit here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The corners coming at you thick and fast. Flat out once again now as you head towards turns 13 and turn 14 here. Two Toro Rossos nearly coming together in 2018. Heavy braking again for turn 15. Need to be careful on that curb. Hitting it too hard will just send you jumping towards the barrier. And now we're onto the final sector of the lap, and it is flat out all the way now for Gil. Need to get a good exit through turn 16, which he managed to do as close to the walls as you dare in that Alpha Tauri for the championship leader. And what sort of time is it going to be? Suku currently fastest on a 1:37.642. That is beaten by Lee Findlay. Is that going to be beaten by our championship leader on his first run? No, it isn't. Only 4th place at the moment for Gil. We've got Aero now. He's heading towards the finish line. He set the fastest lap last time around, but failed to finish at the Monaco Grand Prix. So a costly DNF for him there. Big chance to catch up to some of the others. He wasn't able to take it. He goes into 2nd place though at the moment with a 1:37.636. Now, you may notice some new names all of a sudden in this series. That is because there has been a reshuffle this season, linking up some of the drivers that were in F2. So Suku, who is currently in 3rd, Deso, Sam, and Speedster, and Coutinho are all promoted from F2. Speedster is actually a reserve. He's in place of Caden Forbes. You might remember before the break, Caden was having a few problems with his controller, and unfortunately those problems he's still having. So he'll be hoping to get a new one for the next round of the season. So let's just see how Speedster can do at the moment. He did show some good pace in F2 actually before he left. If I just get up some of the stats from the F2 league, he was very good in qualifying. Only took part in 5 races, but did manage to get 3 pole positions. So it would be interesting to see what he does tonight. Suku was leading that F2 championship before his promotion to F1, and for those drivers that have been promoted, their points have been reset, so they are starting from no points, don't get any benefit from how they were doing in previous seasons. At the moment though, Lee Findlay looking very good at the top of the order. Fastest man for now on a 1:37.446. And I've got to say, it was great to see Lee getting back to form. A winner, of course, in season 19, famously at the Chinese Grand Prix. Who'd be able to forget those celebrations from the now Mercedes driver? He's by far his best result of the season last time out. 3rd position. Felt a bit gutted for himself. He admitted that he just made a slight mistake and couldn't get that victory. As we just see Coutinho running very wide through turn 5 there, just locking up ever so slightly. So a big mistake. Well, only a small mistake, but they can have big consequences around this circuit. We mentioned it before. This castle section, surprisingly one that I've managed to avoid crashing into. I've pretty much hit every other wall on this circuit. Coutinho showing us how someone who's competent can do it. Let's see what sort of time he sets in the Ferrari. In F2, he was not necessarily known for being the quickest, but was very consistent, especially in the races. Did actually manage to pick up 2 race wins out of the 7 that were held before. You can see how close he gets to that wall there. Very close to shaving off a front wing end plate on that Ferrari. And we saw in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix today at Imola that losing your front wing end plate not only has consequences for yourself, can cause trouble for some of those behind as well if anyone comes into the debris. But that shouldn't be an issue for anyone tonight. Let's see what sort of time Coutinho can set then. He's a bit out of sync with some of the other drivers in the Ferrari. Goes 12th, just ahead of his teammates. So Ferrari 12 and 13 at the moment. They'll be hoping for some good points tonight. The Ferrari team currently rooted to the bottom of the Constructors' Championship standings on 21 points, tied with Alfa Romeo at the moment. However, Alfa Romeo ahead on count back thanks to Oscar Marino's 4th place at the Australian Grand Prix. Only 10 minutes to go already in this session. Lee Findlay fastest at the moment as we see what Petrux can do. He's a new reserve to this league. Can he keep it nice and tidy through the end of this sector and set a good lap time as he just rocks up into turn 15, gets away with it though and slows down in the end there. Doesn't want to get held up by Domi. Gamer Poleman last time out, another driver to show some good form, getting his best result of the season. Powell to 2nd position, very good indeed, more than doubled his points for the season so far, so in good form around street circuits. Let's see if he can carry that up tonight. 9.5 minutes remaining then. Lee Findlay the fastest, Aero in 2nd, just 6 thousandths of a second ahead of Suku. attacking the curbs there. That is what you need to do. You need to have the confidence around this circuit in qualifying to attack every single curb and know that you've got the setup right, know that you've got the feeling in the car right to avoid hitting the barriers. Otherwise, it could be bad news indeed for yourself and any chances you've got of getting a good result. So let's see and follow Gamer around the final corner, just running a bit wide there perhaps through turn 16, not getting the apex as smoothly as he would have liked, and the only problem with that is you lose time for the final 20 seconds of the lap and into turn 1 as well. It's such a long flat out section here at the Baku City circuit, quite unique on all street circuits before this season, I suppose, when Vietnam came in the way, but didn't really lose any time for Gamer. That shows what I know. 1:37.391, fantastic time for him, puts him on provisional pole position for now. Petrux coming up around Blizzard, avoiding the traffic, just hopping over that curb, and it's so easily done at turn 15, and you can easily end your race, as well as Speedster. I said he might be one to watch out, but he goes fastest at the moment in the other Red Bull as a reserve. A Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. Sam up in second place. These F2 promotion drivers are really showing the pace at the moment. 1 and 2. Liam now goes fastest. We are seeing the track evolution come into play and really change the times on this track. Domi goes into 5th place. We'll follow Petrux across the line. He is 15th. So the final car to set a time at the moment. Dario has invalidated his lap. Aero was looking pretty good not so long ago. Sat comfortably in 2nd place. He's already been dropped down to 7th. So needs a good run through the final corner. Only slightly up on his personal best at the moment. What can we see here from the Racing Point driver? Can he sneak himself back up into that top 5? No, he can't. A slight time improvement, but that is it. Suku nearly a quarter of a second up on his personal best, as we just see yellow flags there. I believe that is for the Red Bull of Speedster, just getting out of the way of some of the other cars on the way into turn 7. Suku, though, great lap from him, moves himself up into 4th position at the moment. Extremely close qualifying session at this moment in time. Top 8 drivers separated by just over 3/10 of a second, and you've got the all 15 or 16 drivers even separated by 9/10 as Lee Findlay heads towards the finish line. What's it going to be from the Mercedes? Can he get pole position back? Indeed he can. 1:37.164. Great lap from him, an absolutely fantastic time there from Lee Findlay. Don't be surprised if we do see a 36 popping up in this session. Surface moves his way up into 7th place. Another driver who's been showing some really consistent performances throughout the season so far. Points in every race except Bahrain, where he finished 11th. Yet to get on the podium though. Maybe a chance for him tonight in the Renault. A few other cars coming towards the line. Domi dives into the pits. I think we will see most of these cars now head towards the pit lane. There goes Petrux coming in. Aero will be on a cool down lap as well. So 6 minutes remaining, and unsurprisingly for real F1, we've got a Mercedes on pole position at the moment. Lee, who quite a few of you guys in the chat I've noticed seem to be enjoying and seem to think that Lee could have a good performance, given what we saw from him, not necessarily in qualifying in Monaco, but definitely in the race. If it wasn't for that mistake for multiple warnings for track limit extending, and how we love to talk about track limits, it is actually a lot easier to do around here than it is at Monaco. Can run wide coming through turn 1. You can easily cut a few corners as well. This being one of them. Turn 7, another one where you can just get a bit greedy, put all 4 wheels over the white line, and then that will be it for, in qualifying, that'll be it for your lap. You do it 3 times in the race, you get yourself a 3-second penalty. You really cut some corners, could see multiple penalties. Don't be surprised if they have a big play in tonight, as Coutinho looks as though he's going for an ultra low downforce setup on that Ferrari by removing his front wing completely. Bit of a problem there. We'll be able to get that fixed in time. Ruined any chance he had though of improving. Stays in 14th for now, and Gil, the championship leader, 11th position at this moment in time. That is not what he would have expected whatsoever. He'd have hoped to be a lot further up than that, and you can just see how difficult it is. Obviously a demonstration there. That is why a front wing's on a Formula 1 car. You need that extra bit of downforce, funnily enough. But Gil Monaco didn't exactly go to plan for our championship leader. Was only the second time all season he's not been on the podium with 7th place. He's 11th at the moment. We have seen many demonstrations of the alternate strategy working out brilliantly in China. Liam went for the medium tyres early on. He was able to stretch that until the rain came, and that worked out brilliantly for him. And this is not a jinx on all the other drivers. Both races I've commentated on F1 this season, Liam has taken the victory. Whether that's an omen for tonight, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see whether that is an omen for tonight. And Gil is the driver leading the championship. He is on 101 points. We'll just go over the top few quickly. Blizzard 88, Dommy 85, Liam 79. Then quite a bit of a gap to Aero in 5th place at the moment on 56 points. And while the track action seems to have quietened down, and I wonder if Dommy's actually damaged his front wing on an outlap there, because he was on an outlap and he's then dived straight into the pits. Well, we've got a bit of off-track action. Most of the drivers are still in the pits at the moment. Just like to thank our sponsors here at AOR, Hype Energy, of course, who sponsor the F1 leagues. Let's not forget GT Omega and Elgato as well, who power a lot of the F1 streams and some of the other streams you will see across AOR, Project Cars action, ACC action, iRacing and more in the week. Make sure to check out ApexOnlineRacing.com if you want to sign up to those leagues and many more as well. Let's have a look what Sam can do then in 4th place. I'm being honest, I feel he's been a bit unlucky from the races I saw of him in F2 so far this season. Feel like there's definitely more he could have had. Didn't get a win in F2, only got 1 podium, but showed great pace. It's just a few penalties, a few bad luck incidents really did seem to cost him. So let's see if he can kick off his F1 season, F1 debut with a fantastic result here. Currently 4th at the moment. His teammate Dezo in 10th place. Dezo does seem a driver who's very confident around street circuits. He predicted he was going to win Vietnam in F2, yet only scored a few points there and didn't finish at Monaco. So down in 10th at the moment. He'll be hoping for better. Slight improvement from Sam. If he can get a fantastic run through this final corner, he could possibly challenge for the front row of the grid. I don't think it's going to be enough to topple Lee Finlay of pole position at this moment in time, but we'll have to wait and see what can Sam do at this moment in the Alfa Romeo, heading towards the finish line flat out, nearly running out of ERS, nearly running out of fuel. Does make a slight improvement, only good enough though to keep him in 4th position for now. Dario has just started his lap. We've got yellow flags there, and that will just be for Sam, making sure that he gets out of the way, of course, of a few of these drivers. Doesn't want to be guilty of causing any penalties. On board with the Mercedes of Petrux at the moment, down in 15th, 1 minute 9 seconds remaining in this session. Most of the drivers heading out for their final laps now. Can Lee hold on and get to what would be his first pole position of the season? Will we see someone else come good? Obviously, out of the top 5 drivers at the moment, only Liam has got a pole position in F1 so far this season. I said Speedsters had many in F2. I believe Suku got a couple as well. So they've definitely got pace in qualifying, just not in this F1 league at the moment. We haven't been able to see it. They're definitely trying to show it tonight at this moment in time. Let's see what the final corners, final corner of Sector 2, I should say, is like for Petrux. Hopping over that curb just a bit more than you'd like to. 7 thousandths down at the moment, so it definitely looks like he's going to be outside the top 10. But there's always a chance on the alternate strategy around this and many circuits on the F1 game for something good to happen. And let's not forget, safety cars, virtual safety cars, almost a certainty around this circuit. He's going to be the last man then to cross the line before this session is over. Stays in 15th. Checkered flag is out. Dario's invalidated his time. Won't be seeing any improvements from him. Likewise with Gamer. He's another one to have invalidated his time, as has Liam. A lot of drivers don't seem to be able to keep it within the white lines at the moment. Dezo, though, he's not improving at all. Can he move himself further up the order? The Italian dives into the pits, so he will be staying in 10th place at best. Coutinho, I believe, has made another mistake on this lap, so he won't be improving at all. Johan, stuck at the bottom of the timesheet at the moment, only needs to find a bit of time to jump his teammates and the Mercedes of Petrux. does go ahead of the Mercedes. So the Ferrari's 14th and 15th at the moment. Speedster, he's up on his personal best at the moment. Could we see the first driver to get into the 136ers? No, we can't, but it's good enough for pole position for now. Lee Findlay won't be able to improve at all. Blizzard, we haven't really spoke about in this session at all. He's setting a fantastic time at the moment in the Williams. Jumps into 4th, makes it all Williams second row. Suku now on his debut, the former F2 championship leader. What can he do? Goes up to 4th. Great qualifying session from him. His teammate Surface not too far behind either. He's invalidated his lap, and Gill has retired from the session, and I believe the championship leader has gone off through this S section at the end of the lap. We just saw a bit of his car parked there. He'll be starting from 12th place. His former IGK teammate Dario will be just behind him in 13th. But an absolutely fantastic qualifying lap from Speedster on his F1 debut this season. Did race in F1 last year. Seemed to struggle as well last season. He doesn't mind now though. He is on pole position. Lee Findlay, his best qualifying of the year. Just 39 thousandths of a second behind Liam and Blizzard. The two Williams split by Suku in between them. They're 3rd, 4th and 5th. Sam puts the Alfa Romeo in 6th position. Aero, Gamer, Surface and Domi rounding out the top 10. Dezo will have a fresh choice of tyres in 11th, as will Gill, our championship leader. Dario is 13th, Coutinho 14th, Johan 15th, Petrux is 16th. All the drivers separated by less than a second. This is going to be an absolutely fascinating Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Just waiting to see what tyres the drivers will be going for then. We know the top 10 will all be on the soft tyres. Who do you guys think is going to take the victory then? We've seen Speedster's got fantastic qualifying pace. That's now 4 AOR races in a row for him where he has been on pole position, but he's been unable to convert any of the previous 3 into a victory. Will that be the same tonight? Will we see Lee Findlay, after his fantastic form, crossing the line first in Monaco? Will he be able to cross the line first here and actually get the victory? Will it be one of the Williams? Will it be Suku? Will it be someone outside the top 10? Can Gill manage to work his way up in his first AOR race representing Brutal Democracy? Can he work his way up into 12th place? From 12th place. He won't want to finish in 12th, could well end up losing the championship. Will we see a new championship leader at the end of the night? 4 drivers in with a chance of leading after tonight. Gill, Blizzard, Domi, Liam, all could be leading the championship tonight. Next week, we've got another, technically still a street circuit, the Canadian Grand Prix. Then many more races, of course, before we end the championship early next year. Round 22 will be at Abu Dhabi, as we are following the full original 22 race calendar here. Let's see what tyres the drivers have gone for. Not too surprised to see a bit of a mix outside of the top 10. We knew what all those in the top 10 was doing. Petrux is on the softs and Johan in the Ferrari ahead of him on the mediums. Everyone else has gone for the hard tyre, so they'll be hoping there isn't an early safety car, I think, to allow them to extend a bit longer, and they'll just be hoping they can hang on to some of these cars in front. Here's a man who'll be hoping for a good performance. Monaco didn't exactly go to plan for him, but because Blizzard didn't have the greatest of races either, he was able to extend his championship lead by an extra 4 points, so he'll be hoping for some good performances tonight. Seen a few questions about why we've got some new names. We have had a bit of a reshuffle here after the break at AOR. A lot of drivers have been moved up from F2, and we've got some new drivers in as a reserve as well. Petrux being one of the new reserve drivers, he's starting at the back. What can he do in the Mercedes in the face of Mickey, who's unable to make it tonight? He'll be starting on the softs, hoping that he doesn't get held up by anyone, but it is not. Compared to most street circuits, it's actually fairly easy to overtake. Turn 1 and Turn 3 being your main opportunities. Of course, Turn 2, if you're feeling very brave indeed, perhaps going for a cutback attempt on the way through for Turn 1. Expect DRS to be very powerful around this circuit. A lot of drivers will be using it to their advantage. There's a predicted pit stop strategy for those on the hard tyres. I imagine most of those that have started on the softs at the lead of this race, like the Red Bull of Speedster, will be going for a soft, hard strategy. But again, safety cars, any possible weather changes, don't think weather will have an effect because it looks like beautiful sunshine at the moment tonight here in Baku. Fantastic conditions for racing, maybe fantastic conditions for us to see another new winner this season. So far this year, we have had 5 different winners out of 7 races, and the front 2 are yet to win. Speedster making his return to F1. Lee Finlay winning across the line last time, but penalties costing him. He'll be hungry to get another victory and maybe, just maybe, start to show that he could have a say in the decision of this championship this year. Liam in 3rd place, hoping to become the first man to win 2 successive races this season, as we wait for the lights to come on here then in Azerbaijan. We've got 5 lights and we are racing, and it looks like a fairly even start from the front row at the moment. Lee just getting a bit of wheel spin there, allowing Liam to try and go all the way around the outside. There's a bit of rubbing between the two of them, and it looks like Liam has managed to maintain that position at the moment. So Speedster leads, Liam in 2nd. Got the Renault of Suku and Blizzard battling hard in the background as well. We're nearly going 3 wide here. You've got Sam, Aero and Gamer all fighting for 6th position at the moment. There's been a bit of contact there. Not sure if any damage has been done. And oh, Sam has had to go straight on there. He will drop to the back of the field. But Speedster in the lead. Liam hanging on to 2nd place and had an absolutely fantastic getaway and managed to work around the outside of Lee Finlay. Stuku dropping a place as well. So both Williams having a great start. You can see there the big winners, Petrux and Johan moving up 3 places. Sam and Coutinho battling at the moment, and Sam's just sent one down the inside of Desso. He's on the soft tyres. So good teamwork there from Desso just to let his teammate go. Very smart driving indeed, and I think there's already been a bit of contact in the castle section. Desso and Coutinho have come together. I think I sort of put the commentator's curse on Coutinho when I said he seems to do better in the races. He's stone dead last at the moment with big front wing damage. He'll be having to come into the pits. Looks like Desso has got front wing damage as well. These guys would have hoped to go a lot longer, obviously, seeing as they are on the hard tyres. Out in front though still, Speedster in the lead. Liam in 2nd. Gaps already seeming to form. Anything around half a second is a decent gap. Domi, fantastic exit there out of turn 20. Gets up into 8th position ahead of Surface then. I'll just try and tuck in. In fact, Surface has got damage as well. I said I saw a lot of rubbing in the background. Surface comes into the pits off of the soft tyres. What tyres will he be putting on? It is the mediums for the Renault. That is a 2-stop strategy then for car number 37. And in fact, that's just a straight strategy stop. No front wing damage whatsoever. Feels like it'll be better suited to some free air. Coutinho in as well as his Desso. Front wing changes for the both of them as we go on board with the man currently in 2nd at the moment. This is where he crossed the line in Monaco, and that was good enough to take the victory. Will it be tonight? I am not so sure. Long way to go, obviously, in this race. A lot of action. It's been a great start for both of the Williams gaining a place. Lee is slightly disappointed to lose a place off the line. Just looks as though he's got a bit too much wheel spin, and that ended up costing him dearly in the end. Just keeping it nice and smooth at the moment. No blue flags, that's just the standard Cody's timing glitch doing what it likes to do. At the moment, you can see there Liam hopping over that curve quite severely. They must have the car set up a bit softer than normal to just allow them to take that curve that heavy. If you do that with a very stiff suspension setup, you are bouncing towards the barriers, and I'm not sure there's a lot you'd be able to do about it. Further back from some of the final points positions, Dario trying to close up onto the back of Gil, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it successfully for now. DRS trains could well have a big say in how this race goes. Suku trying to catch up to the back of Blizzard, and in fact Blizzard's putting Lee under all sorts of pressure. Fastest lap of the race so far on that last lap. Can he do that cutback into turn 2 that I mentioned earlier? He's alongside the Mercedes of Lee, who's going to try and hold it off around the outside. There's going to be a bit of contact between them. Somehow they've avoided going in the wall. Both the drivers getting DRS, but it is Blizzard who comes out ahead for now. He's up into 3rd. He'll now be hoping to catch up to those top two who have got away ever so slightly at the moment. Further back, Suku not close enough to take advantage of that battling. He's in fifth. His teammate has already come into the pits, and it will be interesting to see how the intra-team dynamic works between some of these drivers that haven't worked together before this season. So Speedster obviously as a reserve. You've now got Surface with a new teammate, Johan with a new teammate. Would be good to see how the drivers work together tonight. At the moment, Speedster though seems to just be checking out in these early stages. 1.5 seconds to lead, and I think Liam has made a mistake somewhere, because all of a sudden Blizzard is right on the back of his Williams teammate. Can't see any obvious damage on the Williams as it comes flashing by there through turns 13 and 14, but this might give Blizzard a chance it needs to get up into second. It's been a fantastic first 3 laps from the two Conway drivers, although it just looks as though Liam made a slight mistake there and Blizzard has actually dropped back ever so slightly, and maybe despite both these two having DRS trains always a factor on F1 2020, maybe there's a chance for Lee to get closer. He doesn't look to have the straight line speed advantage though over Blizzard at the moment, and he is just going to have to stay behind for now. Nothing he can do about it. Petrux though, with the DRS, with the extra grip out of turn 16, is up into 10th place. He'll be setting his sights then on the championship leader Gil, who's had a very decent start to move his way up into 9th, as Dario just looked about having another move there on Petrux, in the end deciding better of it. All Gil's got to do is be patient. He's sort of in a very good position at the moment, in 9th place, 3 tyres, could well have a very decent race. Just needs to be careful if Petrux decides to send one. Doesn't want to defend too hard, as these two are really in different races at this moment in time. Back to the lead cars though, you can see Speedster getting away ever so slightly, then it all just seems to be closing up every now and then. There's another bit of a lock up there for Liam in the Williams, coming through turn 7, all managing to avoid that wall at the castle section, which is what we want to see. Don't want to see any cars getting stuck there. Be a guaranteed virtual safety car, probably even a full safety car if anyone retires there. Does look as though Liam can pull away from Blizzard when he doesn't make any mistakes. And again, hitting that curb quite severely was the Williams. Lee giving him a slight little kiss as they come through turn 16. No harm done as the Mercedes tries to attach itself to the back of the Williams. Not quite as literally as he did coming through that braking zone to possibly get the run down into turn 1. Does look like he's got a slightly better exit through that corner. Blizzard might be running low on ERS soon, and that might be the chance Lee needs if he wanted to go for it, and in the end decided he's not too bothered about going for that move. Petrux though, definitely bothered about getting past Gil. He now moves up into 9th place in the Mercedes. Could he even catch up to the back of that Traders? Gamer down the inside of Suku, he goes in the Red Bull, gets a bit of wheel spin on the exit. That allows the Renault to just stay ahead for another day, but Gamer trying to work his way up. Maybe he could get his second podium of the season. Late on the brakes, Suku just has enough of his car ahead to shut the door on Gamer. We'll probably have to wait for another lap. And Speedster's just looking fairly comfortable at the moment, you've got to say. Nearly 2 seconds ahead. Oh, there's been a yellow flag. And that is Coutinho in the pit lane. Virtual safety car. Well, he's going to be the only driver who benefits from that, but a virtual safety car. Sam with big damage as well. He's gone off somewhere, trying to catch these guys back up. So an absolutely nightmare start to the race for Sam, having that off earlier on, down in 13th now on the soft tyres. Not ideal at all for him. Coutinho with another pit stop. If I could say something about this guy though, he will not give up. He will keep going. Maybe if there's a full safety car, there's a chance. But Ferrari and Alfa Romeo down at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship, pretty much down at the bottom of this race as well. Surface in 14th, the only driver to have made a scheduled pit stop a lot earlier than any of us were expecting. And when will we see the track go back to green again? Will we see anyone get caught out and get a penalty? Because that does happen quite often. And there we go, we are back to green again. Everyone has kept it nice and clean. DRS will be enabled, and Dommy's got an absolutely fantastic run. He's timed that perfectly. Yellow flag in the castle section. That is Dezo, who somehow avoided retiring. And somehow we're going to get away without any virtual or full safety car. We are seeing a few pits though. Liam, Gamer and Domi all into the pits at the end of lap 5. And that is Blizzard drifting his way around there. This is going to allow Lee Finley to try and go all the way around the outside of turn 2. Not able to do so. And Suku's going to get his nose involved and nearly ends up taking out Lee. Just lifts off. In the end, could have well been a big accident between them. Thankfully, they're able to continue without any damage done for those guys. Now Gill's hanging on to the back of Pet Trucks, which is probably what he needs to do. Up into 7th place after the pit stops. We saw Liam, Domi and Gamer all go for the hard tyres, so they're all planning to make this a one-stop race. The quickest way to do it. Now we'll see what Liam can do in a bit more free air. Can he catch up to the back of Johan? Can he do the undercut? Will we see Speedster come into the pits this lap? Will we see Lee Finley come into the pits this lap as well? Both Mercedes still yet to pit and a bit close together to make the double stack a reasonable strategy at this moment in the race. Real life, of course, can do a double stack with that sort of gap. The F1 brick crews tend to be a bit more blasé, and it tends to take a bit longer. As Dezo in the pits, he's putting on another set of hard tyres, changing to the hards that he was on at the start of the race. He'll of course be aiming to go to the end. So, any of the lead drivers coming into the pits this time around. Looks like Speedster's heading towards that left-hand side of the track. And there we go. Yes, race leader Speedster into the pits then. Avoids hitting the wall, gets it slowed down in time, not taking any chances whatsoever. Fairly conservative pit lane entry from all of them. The only driver on the soft tyres to stay out is Lee Finley. He's going a bit longer to try and get better tyres at the end. So Lee back into the lead of this race for the first time. Gil now up into second. Dario is in third, staying in contact with Gil. Pretty decent performance so far from Dario. Did have a win in Spain, his only podium so far this season. He's currently 6th in the championship of 48 points. Will he be able to move his way up tonight? Does look like it is going to be difficult. Could see him and Gil though chopping their way through the field in the latter stages. And there is the effectiveness of the undercut shown plainly. Speedster was about 2 seconds ahead before that pit stop period. He's now 1.4 behind. Liam in the net lead of this race. Domi managing to jump Blizzard as well. Surface pitting earlier on. He's on the mediums. He's in 10th place. He's going to have to pit again. And I'm not sure that strategy was the best one there for Surface, as he's now got aero all over the back of him, just losing a bit of grip in the dirty air. And that could be something to watch out for these guys. As the tyres get older, as the cars get lighter, you might just see them sliding a slight bit more, especially when the tyres are wearing out towards the end of this race. Liam, though, in the net lead at this moment in time. Could he get his second win of the season and become the first driver this year to take 3 victories? It's only himself and his Williams and Comrade Gaming teammate Blizzard that have took multiple race wins at the moment. He's looking good. He's looking like he's used up all his ERS as well, and that's going to allow Speedster to close up ever so slightly, as we do see now Lee Finley come into the pits. Mercedes boys at work, hard tyres on for Lee. Where's he going to drop to these guys? Probably behind Suku, who seems to be quite happy to just let his teammate Surface get ahead now. Good teamwork between them, because Surface needs to work his way up the order, and that is where Lee Finley comes out, not actually losing too much time there. Coming out just behind Blizzard in what is now a net 5th position. So the leader of this race then is the championship leader and the only man on 100 points so far this season. Lap 8 out of 26. Gil is in the lead of this race, and Speedster apparently actually getting held up in the pits, so not ideal whatsoever. I did think that was a bit of a big advantage on the undercut there. 4 seconds Liam managing to gain. Now though, we'll have to see if Speedster can use them 1 lap pressure tyres, use the pace that he so clearly had in the opening stages of this race to possibly take a fantastic debut victory. Gil just keeping it nice and calm at the moment. He'll be going on, you'd imagine, for at least another 8 or 9 laps. He really smashes into that curb. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a warning. really surprised that he actually kept that out of the wall, and that might just give Dario the chance that he needs. He's wearing the same esports team a couple of weeks ago. They're not anymore, so don't have to worry about any intra-team relations there, and it looks as though Dario is set up here to take the lead of this race. Gil, not a lot he's going to be able to do about this. The move's going to be done before we really get to the start-finish line. Gil down to second. Dario takes the lead as Sam is out of this race. Will that cause a safety car? Will we see a safety car, which could well spice things up at the top of the order? It's coming out of turn 12. You can just see the Alfa Romeo there over to one side of the track. Looks as though he's just retired out on track, so hopefully that won't cause any issues. But we have our first retirement here at Baku, and I'm actually quite surprised to say it took until lap 9, given how difficult this track is. So well done to all of the drivers. We are down to just 15 runners, though. Sam, the first retiree in this race, not the debut he'd have been hoping for in the PS4 F1 League at the moment. Speedster has got within that magical 1 second window now of Liam, and he's dragging Domi and Blizzard along with him. So this could well be a fantastic battle towards the end. We haven't really spoke about Domi much in this race. Took the win in the first race of the season in Australia. Has had some other podiums since then. A third in Vietnam and Holland. Second in Spain. Fourth last time out. You've got to say, at the moment, if he could get a win here tonight, could well be in a good position to really close up to the lead of the championship. It's so close at the moment. He's currently third. Gamer picks up a penalty. One of the first drivers I've seen pick up a penalty tonight. He's down in 13th at the moment. Currently battling with Petrox at the back of this train. The gap between Speedster and Gamer. Suku picks up a penalty there. In fact, we'll go for the gap between Liam and Gamer. We've got 10 cars separated by just 7 seconds at the moment as we head onto lap 10 of this race. Are we going to see any overtakes at the moment then? Petrox with that slightly annoying rev glitch at this moment in time. Can he close onto the back of Aero? Both of them will have DRS off the car in front, so I don't think we'll be able to see any moves this time around. This is the issue. DRS trains are really costing these guys. Surface not exactly close enough. Oh, the Speedster made a mistake. Speedster's had a big moment coming out of turn 1. Locks up and Blizzard makes contact with him. Blizzard in the wall. Blizzard in the wall. Such an unlucky victim there. Speedster trying to recover from his own accident. Very late on the brakes. Just gave Blizzard a slight tap. And in the end, it was Domi and some of the others were coming through. There was nothing Blizzard can do to avoid that. So he's down in 13th. He's going to have to come into the pits and get that front wing changed. Any chance he had of getting good points in this race are over. We'll have to see if that one goes to the stewards as well. But it looks like another mistake in a race from Speedster. He's got away, I think, without any damage whatsoever. I can't see anything. What that does mean is Liam has now got a bit of a gap over Domi, 1.7 seconds, so doesn't need to worry about DRS at all. Such a shame though for Speedster and Blizzard. Really going to cost those guys. But definitely it's cost Blizzard, and now it's dropped Speedster off the back of Domi, and he could be under DRS pressure from Lee Findlay next time around. We'll have to wait and see. Don't count Lee and some of these other drivers out for a possible podium in this race. Liam though in the net race lead. He's 10 seconds off the actual race lead, currently being held by Domi and Gil. Dario, I should say, sorry, in first. Gil in second. Johan had a bit of a quiet race. We haven't spoke about him at the moment. He's just doing a very respectable job on those medium tyres. Wouldn't surprise me if he pits on the next couple of laps to go for the hard tyres. Be surprised if he tries to stretch it out for a soft tyre run. Those mediums could be at a risk of a puncture as Suku dropping the quite a long way down the order. Aero, Petrox, Gamer, Suku all battling together at this moment in time. Not sure if the Renault had a bit of a bad exit coming out of the final corners there, but now Aero's could be a bit of a sitting duck here. You've got Petrox behind him with the DRS. Car number 77 on that Mercedes, and Petrox down the inside gets the position done. Suku! What on earth was that? And he's retired from the session. I am not sure what I have just witnessed there. I'm not sure if he ran into the back of Gamer or what, but Suku is out of the session. Will that cause a safety car? I sincerely hope it doesn't. And Blizzard, he's coming and put the soft tyres on, so he's probably going soft. if he's got another set of soft. If not, soft medium. But we've had another retirement from this race. That's one less car for Blizzard to get up to get into the points. Suku then out of this race. He was leading the championship in F2 before the reset. He is scoring no points here in F1, and that's two of the promoter drivers struggling. We've had another one speedster nearly have an accident, and Deso and Coutinho down at the back of the field. So even though speedster's in a good position, it's fair to say some of these promoter drivers are finding it tough at the moment. Gil then, can he close up onto the back of Dario? Does he want to close up onto the back of Dario? Seems content to just stay behind for now as he goes on to lap 12 of the race. They're still holding out about 10 seconds ahead of Liam. That gap is not really going up. It's not going down. It's not going up, but you wouldn't expect it to. You'd expect it to be going down quite a bit more than it is. So they're doing a very decent job on those hard tyres. It's staying at around 10 seconds to Liam at the moment, and it's not like Domi, Speedster and some of the others are really starting to put them under any pressure. Speedster seems to have recovered from his incident ever so slightly, still in the net, third position, still getting away now from Lee and closing up to the back of Domi. Surface sort of just running on his own in 8th place. He'll be making another pit stop, possibly onto another set of mediums. I imagine though he'll want to stretch his medium stint out so he can go for another set of softs and see if he can salvage any decent points from this race. In the Renault at the moment, of course, we're solo remaining Renault after what was a very weird few corners from Suku. I'm not quite sure what happened as Gamer looks to have managed to get past Aero. Not sure if Aero's made a mistake through turn 6, judging by the fact that that front wing is missing its right hand end plate. You've got to say it has. So disaster for Aero. Not sure whether he'll think it's worth coming into the pits and putting a set of the medium tyres on and getting that front wing change, or whether he'll hold out with that damage. If he does put a set of mediums on, he would be able to stay in 11. Just going back to what I saw with Suku, he was very slow on the straight, dropped down to 12, and then 4 cars that close together, and he just seemed to spear across the track, nearly ended up crashing in to Gamer. Not sure if there'd been a bit of contact already between them that caused the Renault to go across the track, and then front wing damage, and the Renault driver deciding enough was enough, and he retired from this race. Gill closing up to the back of Dario then, the closest he's got to the back of the McLaren for now. Only halfway through this race, there seems to have been so much action happening at this moment in time. So Dario here gets his way, lets Gil by in the end, doesn't really defend that position, no point at this moment in time. Gil retakes the lead of this race. Coutinho gets himself a penalty, and Aero is coming into the pits to put on a set of the mediums. Will though hold on, I believe, to that 11th place. Liam in the net lead of this race. He's not getting away whatsoever, and now Domi is within that magical 1 second window, and Speedster and Lee are coming along with them as Blizzard, unsurprisingly, on those fresh soft tyres, sets the fastest lap of the race. I think that will be his aim, is maybe just stopping anyone else getting that bonus point. Currently 30 seconds off the points for the second Williams driver in this race. Going to be extremely hard for him to get up into the points unless we see any safety car after that incident with Blizzard and Speedster. An unlucky victim in the end. Speedster made a slight mistake trying to recover from that. In the end, there was contact with Blizzard and another car as well, not sure who, and that sent Blizzard into the barriers. But he'll be fighting hard until the end of this race. Could at least stop someone else getting appointed. If there's a few more retirements, could well manage to get himself into the points as well. Back to his teammate though, Liam, just trying to keep that gap up above a second at the moment as we are heading to the halfway point of this race. 13 laps gone and 13 remaining in round 8 of the AOR Hype Energy PS4 F1 League Season 20. 22 races, of course, the longest F1 League, I believe, running on PS4 this season, as Surface dives into the pits then, getting rid of those medium tyres. So he's going on to another set of the mediums. Going to be pretty close between him and Aero, so let's see what happens where they come out for these final points. Maybe I was a bit premature saying Blizzard doesn't have any chance of getting points, of course, with Surface's pit stop, and if we see any more retirements, could be a chance for a few of the others, as Liam just seems to lose a bit in that first part of the lap. Doesn't seem to be able to break that 1 second window, and that allows Domi to just stay in contact. Got very close to a second last time, about 9/10 of a second. And Blizzard's into the pits again, as Blizzard got more damage. He's retired from the session. So yeah, Blizzard I believe, must have hit his front wing somewhere else. He is out of this race. We are down now to just 13 runners here. Coutinho and Deso. This is what I mean about when I said it's worth just carrying on. They have at the moment, and a couple of more retirements, could well see Coutinho pick up a point here in the Ferrari. And we haven't spoken about his teammate, Johan, who's... I'm not sure what he's doing at the moment. I'm not sure how long he's trying to stretch those mediums, because you have to use 2 different types of dry compound tyre. A lot of us won't know that from watching Formula 1, but from those who don't, you have to stop in Formula 1 because you have to use 2 different types of dry tyre in a dry race. So, although he'd love to go medium to mediums, and it would be a great strategy, it would be illegal. So, not sure if he's trying to stretch these mediums long enough to put on the softs. If he could, it could definitely work. As Gil in the pits, that is a very early pit stop to what I was expecting for those on the hard tyres, and it is going to be the mediums for Gil. This will put him out in 9th place. The problem for him he's going to have is the DRS train that he's going to find himself in all manner of trouble. Gil is going to have trying to get past these guys, nearly bins it on the pit exit. Nearly bins it on the pit exit, and to say Johan's done 14 laps so far on the mediums, I'm surprised Gil is only able to do 14 laps on the hard tyres. So, have to see how this goes. It's clearly doable, as Warren informs me, what Johan is doing, so he must be being a bit more careful on his tyres at this moment in time. It does look as though he is starting to drop back ever so slightly from Dario. It might not be too long before Liam and Domi are giving him a bit of company. Gil's only come out 7.6 seconds behind Liam with 12 laps to go. If it was free air, I'd say that is very possible. Given the fact that he's going to have to pass Domi, Speedster, Lee, Petrus and Gamer before he even gets to Liam, I'm not sure it's going to be. We'll check what the penalties are like later on in the race. As Coutinho into the pits again, he's going to drop down to last place. Deso works his way up into 12th. Those guys just fighting for pride at this moment in time, as you see Johan just cutting through the screen there. Here is your net race leader though. Still the top 2 drivers, yet 2 coming to the pits. Coutinho making 3 stops. Deso making 2 because of damage. Aero making 2 because of damage. Surface making 2 as a strategy choice. Very interesting indeed from the Shazoo driver. This could get very interesting indeed, because this is the closest Domi's been to the back of the Williams, and Liam is going to have to go defensive here, or he's going to find himself dropping behind the Haas. And there we go, Domi now up into 2nd place as Dario pitted on that lap as well. So Domi is now into the net lead. Johan the only driver, and he's on these mediums. This is still astounding that those on the hards haven't been able to make a hard soft work, yet he might be able to make a medium soft work. Domi now in the net lead of this race, getting ahead of Liam on that lap. Now, will we see Domi be able to get away, or will we see a position change as Gamer drops behind Gil there straight away? Gil working his way up the orders. Aero retires from the session. I believe that is in the pit lane, so we're down to just 12 runners here. Down to just 12 runners, and another DNF for Aero. 2 very tricky races for him. Could well prove costly at the end of the season. Still a long way to go though. 14 races after tonight in the championship. Not a sprint. This is definitely a marathon for all of these drivers. So Domi breaking away now. Can he get away from Liam? That is the big question. These 2 were the first of the top guys to come into the pits for a set of the hard tyres. Did that on lap 6 just after a VSC period. Didn't get any advantage from it. But decided it was worth going for the undercut. Speedster getting held up in the pits, and that slight incident he had earlier definitely costing him. He's in a net 3rd place at the moment, but it looks as though Domi is pulling away from Liam ever so slightly. Liam definitely not going to be close enough to go for a move this time around, but he's not going to be under any pressure as Johan into the pits then. On lap 16, he's into the pits. Gonna have to stretch these soft tyres 10 laps. So Warren's prediction not too far off. If you ever fancy a job as Ted Kravitz, just let me know. And there we go, Johan. It's going to be fairly close between the Ferrari and Surface. He should just get ahead though. Can he work his way up into the order in that Ferrari? Then his best result of the season was last time out at Monaco in 5th. Definitely possible today if he can keep those tyres lasting. What I was about to say before that pit stop, it's definitely possible that we could see Gil from 12th on the grid just maybe take a victory. He's 4 places behind the lead at the moment. He's 4 seconds off of the lead, but he's on those medium tyres. What is going to make it hard is all these drivers ahead being in a DRS trainer's lead. Just gives Speedster a slight little tap, forces them both off of line. I wonder if they're just wearing their tyres out a bit more in the dirty air. Maybe let's not count Dario out from this as well, as we've got a yellow flag. Oh, as I say that, Dario has binned it in the castle section. I was just saying, maybe not count him out from this. I think now we're going to have to. Dario out of this race. What on earth has he managed to do there? He's stuck in the middle of the track. Looks like he's missing his rear left tyre there. So down to just 11 runners. What was I saying about Dezo and Coutinho? Maybe just having to carry on. No safety car or virtual safety car at the moment, which is good news for a lot of these drivers. We might have seen a few of them maybe coming to the pits and put the soft tyres on. Who knows what could have happened. Speedster now closes up onto the back of Liam. It looks like he's got a bit of extra ERS and he's using that to his full advantage. You can see the Red Bull trying to get alongside at the moment, and he's got the position done. Speedster up into second place. Can Liam fight back into turn 2? This battling's just going to allow Domi to get away ever so slightly, but there we go. Speedster's now up into second. He qualified on pole. He feels like he's got this win in the bag before that safety car period. Maybe now he has got a chance as he tries to close up onto the back of Domi, and Liam definitely doesn't seem to have had the pace in this stint. He got dropped by Domi. He's been passed now by Speedster, and we've got a 5-car train now with Gil getting onto the back of these guys, and he's going to have the grip on his tyres maybe to send that move into turn 3 that some of these drivers aren't expecting. Maybe even into turn 2. You can't get it done through into turn 1, so just watch out what the Alpha Tauri driver can do as long as he doesn't get too cocky with that extra grip. We've already seen from Dario, very easy here at Azerbaijan to go from 0 to 0. So championship leader Gil in 5th place at the moment. He knows the man behind him, directly behind him in the championship. Blizzard won't be scoring any points. It looks like the man in 3rd at the moment though is going to take the race victory. Domi leading this race only by 6/10 of a second. The top 5 drivers separated by 1.6 seconds. Gamer not too far behind in 6th. He's only 2 seconds off these guys. Petruk 7th, Johan 8th, Surface is now 9th. Dezo and Coutinho showing why it's worth carrying on. They're 10th and 11th. One of those will be picking up points today. Now Speedster picks up the slipstream, picks up the DRS. Will he soon be picking up the race lead with 8 laps to go? No, decides to just hold it back ever so slightly. The old concertina up, spread out again like a slinky on the run between 1 and 2, and the process will repeat itself. And that's a fairly decent exit there from Speedster. Similar DRS to Domi, who doesn't feel the need to go for it at the moment. Lee Finley feeling the need to go defensive though on Gil, and I'm not sure he meant to go for the move there on Liam. A bit of contact. I think he was just concentrating on defending from Gil and nearly completely sends it into the side of Liam, costing them all a slight bit of time. They've been able to stay within that 1 second of Domi. That very nearly ended in a big crash, taking out 3 drivers, but Lee, fair play, tried to back out of it, and again he's very late on the brakes. He seems to be so much better on the brakes than Liam at the moment, and that's what I was saying about Gil. He can maybe get that extra grip to just get a run out of some of these corners that Lee, Liam and Speedster can't be able to try at this moment in time. It looks like Domi's just got away ever so slightly, and you're not going to be able to get a pass done into turn 15, Gil, no matter how much grip you've got. That was just ending in an accident, and you know what? Gamer is catching up onto the back of these. We could well have a 6-car train here with just over 6 laps to go. Just about to come on to lap 20 of this race, and it is everyone's guess who's going to take the victory. Now Speedster's a bit further back this time from Domi, so probably won't bother. As I say that, he does bother, just using a slight dip of overtake. Liam's going to need to use some to save it. Liam is going to have to try and defend here from Gil. Down the inside goes the Alpha Tauri on the fresher medium tyres, and Lee holds it off round the outside. Very good driving indeed, and I will check what the penalty situation is for these drivers once it all calms down between them. Now though, Lee not using the overtake, and I think he might have to just defend here, although Gil decides this battle isn't worth fighting. Speedster closing right up to the back of Domi. Do any of these top 6 drivers have a penalty? Domi has kept it fairly clean at the moment, as has Speedster. Liam also yet to get a penalty. Lee might have one. It does say invalidated lap time quite often on this, but at the moment, we're going with the top 5 don't have any penalties. Coutinho clearly does so. He has got a 3-second time penalty then for track limits in that quest to try and pick up the final points position on those fresher medium tyres. There seems to be some slight gaps forming here. Domi just getting away from Speedster. Speedster just getting away from Liam. And Liam, they're actually stretching it out ahead of Gil, who's basically pushing Lee around some of these corners. Gil is definitely showing some good pace on these mediums. As we expected, in the DRS train, he's not able to use it. And now Gamer has got onto the back of these guys. Could he take advantage of any bad luck? Did get a podium last time out. It looks as though it's going to be an inevitability here that Gil is going to be able to take 4th position off of Lee Finlay. He's right on the back. They're all going to have ERS, apart from Liam, who's basically just using the petrol that he's got at the moment. Lee goes defensive slightly. Gil trying to go all the way around the outside. Lee's got a bit deep there, gets a bit of a slide on. Gil's able to react. Is he able to take the position on the run here down into turn 2? On the inside, he gets that done. And again, Lee sliding all over the place now. I think he's cooked his tyres up ever so slightly. Gamer gets ahead of him, and Speedster gets ahead of Domi. So much action going on here in the final 6 laps. Speedster now in the lead of this race. Lee dropping 2 places from 4th to 6th as Gil and Gamer, the junior team and the senior team, working their way past the Mercedes. So Speedster, can he now pull away to get that victory? He's going to have to try and do something because Gil is coming up quick. He's only got 2 cars to get ahead now to maybe have a challenge in this lead. I think if he does get up into 2nd, there's not a lot Speedster will be able to do to defend, because obviously he won't have the DRS, so he needs to try and break away ever so slightly. Further back, battle for 7th and 8th place. Johan on the soft tyres. Has he got enough left to get to the end of the race? He should do. Will he be able to get ahead of Petrox and stay there is another question though. Not the greatest of qualifying from Johan. Currently though, driver of the day looks like it will be going for Petrox. That could change though if Johan gets ahead, because then we'll have 4 drivers having gained 8 positions. It's been a great race from Domi, Gil, Petrox and Johan. It could just get even better here for Gil. You can see the red light flashing on the back of Liam, again signifying that he has got no ERS, so he won't be attacking. He'll just be thinking about defending with 5 laps to go. Speedster in the lead. Domi, Liam, Gil, Gamer, Lee Finlay all following close behind. It does look as though Lee's possibly dropping back ever so slightly, so maybe just not able to stay quite in contact with these guys at the moment. Is Gil going to think about sending one down the inside into turn 3? He definitely looked as though he was going for it. In the end, I think he realised he was just too far back to maybe make that move work, as Johan has managed to make his way past Petrox. We'll have to see if Surface can get that done as well, as Gil's got a fantastic run there into turn 4, through turn 4 I should say, into turn 5, gets the position done. Gil is now into 3rd position. Has he made this alternate strategy work absolutely beautifully? Just gets past Domi and Speedster, and he will take his 2nd win of the season, and that will be a big extension of his lead in the championship, seeing as Blizzard, the man currently 2nd, is one of 5 retirements in this race. Sam, Suku, Blizzard, Aero and Dario all failing to finish at this moment in time. Will anyone else get added to that list? Will these drivers battling just see a slight mistake from some of them 3 pinners? It does look as though Speedster's getting away just ever so slightly, not able to get more than a 2nd away, which is probably good news for Domi, because he's going to need that DRS to defend from Gil this time around. So here we go. Again, let's not forget Gil was part of IGK up until a couple of weeks ago when he was snatched off them by BDG. Gamer gets ahead of Liam. That lack of ERS really costing Liam, and Lee Finlay might think, I can have a go at the Williams here as well. Down the inside he goes. And Liam, it has not been a 2nd stint that he would have wanted. Just used a lot of ERS was in the net lead. He's now down to 6. Lee back up to 5th. Gamer, who we never really talked about, is into 4th. Could well make it 2 Red Bull drivers on the podium. Gil and Domi not close enough to attack this time around. 4 laps to go. Are we going to see any more changes in the top 6? I think we're almost certain could well be a drag race towards the line here in this F1 race. All keeping it nice and clean so far. It's been a very clean race. We've seen a bit of wheel banging. It was only really Blizzard, which was more bad luck, I think, than anything. Will be interesting to see if it takes it to the stewards. I imagine it will, as it ruined any chance Blizzard had of being involved in this battle. And he would have been. Maybe Aero could have got his way in if it wasn't for that damaged surface. Going for a very strange strategy. Let's not forget Suku was up here as well. Davio. We could have easily had a 10-car train fighting for the lead here. That is how close AOR F1 is at the moment. Props to the admins for the changes that they made. They needed to be made, it has to be said. And it's definitely done the trick in closing this league up and hopefully giving us another 14 races after this of fantastic racing action, as Gil just looks to have washed out slightly in the dirty air there. He was closing up to the back of Domi quite a lot coming through the final corner. Wasn't able to really stay close enough though to go for a move into turn 1. Gamers closing up to the back of these. Lee has dropped back ever so slightly, and Liam really a long way back now. He's just settling for 6th place. Whether he'll stay there though, because Johan will be trying to close up. This could well be another good performance from Johan. Petrux though, he's now got surface to contend with. I think Domi's made a slight mistake, because now Gil is all over the back of him, just trying to force him to the outside and trying to shut off the door there. Gil gets alongside. Will Domi be able to fight back into turn 4? No, he won't. The position is lost. That is Gil up into 2nd. Has he got enough life on those medium tyres to take the 2nd victory of the season? Only previous victory this year coming at the Vietnam Grand Prix. Another street circuit, let's not forget. Can he take the win here in Azerbaijan? Will we see Speedster take a win? Lee gets a penalty as he tries to fight with Gamer here. Just gives him a slight tap into the castle section, which is the last place you want anyone to be coming into your rear end. Gamer gets away with it though, and that's, you can already see Domi's just dropped back so much already from Gil, so we could well be having a 2-horse race now for the victory here. Has Speedster got enough ERS? It looks like he will to defend this time around. You know Gil though is going to be all over the back of him. Speedster though, he could just fight freely. He's not really going to have a chance of winning this championship unless something dramatic happens, you imagine, despite how long it is to go. So Gil might, a bit of him might think about the championship, take this 2nd place. A much larger part of him is going to be thinking, I want to get this victory. I want to show after Monaco that I'm still a big threat, and I want to give BDG something to cheer about in my first race with them, as Gamer now works his way ahead of Domi. It does look like we're going to get 2 Red Bulls on the podium here. Further back, Surface, straightforward DRS pass, works his way past Petrux. He is up into 9th place. Here we go then. First real chance Gil is going to have of maybe getting ahead of Speedster, and not quite close enough. As has Speedster picked up some damage anywhere? Oh, he has. Speedster's missing his right end plate. This could change everything in this race. How on earth is he going to be able to hang on now? This would be a miracle if he ends up taking the victory here. Speedster has got wing damage, and if Gil's nice and careful, saves his ERS, saves any additional fuel, he could well take the victory here, and I'm not sure there's a lot Speedster will be able to do to defend. Gamer's not too far behind. He's had a cracking end to this race. Didn't really talk about him much in the early stages. Was sort of in that next battle off the leaders. He's worked his way up onto the back of this pack. He's got past Liam, he's got past Lee Finley, he's got past Domi. He's going to be rewarded with a 2nd podium in a row. They're all clouting this curve on the final lap. Coutinho's coming to the pits. I think he wants to think about maybe trying to set the fastest lap of this race, but I'm not sure he's got enough tyres to do it. And here comes the AlphaTauri as Liam picks up a penalty. Here comes the AlphaTauri. Is Speedster able to do anything as we're about to head onto the final lap of the race here? Just stays ahead for now until the DRS is activated. And then I don't think there's going to be a lot Gil can do. Very late move there from Speedster. I'm not sure why Gill didn't just go to the outside, because the gap was there straight down the inside. Well, straight round the outside in the end he goes. Well, down the inside. I was right the first time. He goes down the inside. There we go. That could well be it. Speedster's got DRS this time around. Has he got a good enough exit? Is he going to be forced to go the long way round, or is he going to send one down the inside into turn 3? He might have a broken front wing. He still thinks he can win this race. They're both nearly in the wall. And Gamer's up in second. All of a sudden, very late braking there from Speedster. Sort of forced Gill behind, who's now battling with Domi for 3rd and 4th. This race has completely changed on its head. And now you've got to say, if Gamer can keep it nice and clean, he could well take the victory from Speedster. But these aren't full-time teammates. There will not be any team orders whatsoever. Gamer somehow into second. Gill must be absolutely furious at this moment in time. The door was open for Speedster. He was always going to go for that move. Just not sure with that front wing he had enough downforce to make the corner. Looks like he clearly didn't, as Gill ended up dropping back to nearly 4th place. He's now into 3rd place. Speedster, I think he's going to be making a few trips to the stewards in this race. He clouts that curb one last time at turn 15. Is Gamer able to get close enough to take the victory as they're going to come through the final corner? And this is a straight drag race now between these guys. Gill's got a fantastic run through that final corner once again. Oh, we're going to see a Red Bull victory. Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Speedster? Is it going to be Gamer? It looks like they're running out of ERS. This is going to be so close towards the line, but I think Gamer is going to get it. He takes the victory. Speedster. No, Speedster gets it. Gamer had a time penalty. I apologise. Speedster takes the win. Gill second. Domi third. Gamer in 4th. Lee Finley 5th. Surface and Johan drop ahead of Liam, who drops... Well, jump ahead of Liam, who drops that to 8. Petrux in 9th. Desso and Coutinho, they've kept going. And Desso is going to take the win. And, well, Desso's going to take the final point. And I think we're going to be seeing some comeback in the stewards there. Provisionally, Speedster takes the victory. We'll have to see if it stays that way. He had that bit of contact with Gill. There was that bit of weave on the straight as well. We'll see if the stewards let that go. Any time penalty whatsoever, probably going to drop Speedster off of the podium. Gamer managed to get across the line in 1st place, but that time penalty costing him in the end. And it's fair to say Conrad and BDG not exactly best pleased with Speedster driving. He won't care at the moment though. He is the winner here. There we go. Desso heading towards the finish line. Not the debut race he'd have wanted back in F1, but he has managed to pick up a point where so many others faltered. We've probably seen Dario in that battle as well. He must be kicking himself after that race. Gill, 47 thousandths off of victory. Domi in 3rd place. Another good podium place for him. I'll provisionally go through what that does for the championship standings. Gill will now be up to 119 points, and he will now have a 19-point lead over Domi, who jumps up into second. A bad race for Blizzard. Gill getting driver of the day, and I can't say I argue with that. He could well be claiming his 2nd victory of the season. Hopefully we'll find out by next time in Canada whether there has been any difference in the stewards. Look how delighted Speedster is though. Great qualifying from him. Definitely fought hard in the end, and it's not really up for me to say whether he fought fairly or not, but he's spraying the champagne with the victory. Gill in 2nd, Domi in 3rd position. Gamer then finishing 4th, penalty costing him and Lee Finley in the end. Surface and Johan kept it clean. Look how close it was between them in the end. Surface less than half a tenth of a second ahead of Johan out on track, a bit like what we saw at the front of the field. Liam ends up finishing in 8th. Petrux in 9th place. The top 9 drivers separated by 8 seconds after 26 laps. That is how close the field is here now in AOR F1. Dezo a minute behind. He won't care. He picks up a point. Coutinho was the final finisher. We saw Dario lose it through the castle section. Aero retired in the pits, as did Blizzard, after picking up damage for a 2nd time. The first time he had that incident with Speedster, so he might think about calling our race winner to the stewards. Suku, that weird incident he had with Gamer, and Sam retiring coming out of turn 12. And that is pretty much it from what was an absolutely breathless finish for that race. We knew it was going to build up towards the end, I don't think I quite expected it to build up that much. Absolutely crazy driving, absolutely crazy action once again. Who knows if we'll see anything like that next time. If we see something better in Canada, it will be one hell of a race. Make sure to check that out next week, where Kieran will be back alongside me, so hopefully my voice won't sound as dying as it feels like it is right now. Great racing once again. Thank you all guys so much for coming along and supporting this stream. Make sure to check out the rest of the AOR racing streams as well. The AOR F1 League streams. Xbox One is live right now, as is the PC F1 League, and also the PC F2 and F4 leagues are also live as well. Make sure to check out the AOR channel as well for plenty more racing action in the week. Who knows, you might even meet up to the standards of tonight. A fantastic race with Speedster getting the win, but it definitely wasn't without controversy. Good night.